Well, the FOMC meeting is finally behind us. Happened yesterday. Whatever was said, whatever happened, the market loved it. The market started rallying. Bitcoin started rallying. We did have ETH rallying as well. We did have altcoins as well rallying. Green grass everywhere. Now, to top things off, Binance now increased its ETH holdings by over 600 million this week alone. That happened right before the FOMC. Now, these things made the market rally and made me especially very bullish, even though I was already bullish. But because of the FOMC meeting, there are always doubts. We don't know what we don't know what they're gonna say. We don't have access to their minds. But whatever happened, the market loved it. But the main thing that actually the market loved about it is the slowing down of QT, quantitative tightening, which means it's leading us slowly towards the money printing, which means altcoins and cryptos are gonna start rallying from that. So what I like the most is Ethereum starting to rally, and wasn't a big rally or anything like that, but nonetheless it did rally towards 2000 or above slightly, possibly marking a low here. But I'm really looking at here is what if actually Bitcoin now did actually bottom and is leading us towards its next pump or next leg up. As you can see, you've probably seen this on previous videos, but you can see whenever Bitcoin goes back to this VWAP here, it marks the bottom and we start to rally. So this was the Germany selling here. This was before the Bitcoin ETFs, where there were a lot of rumors and speculation around it being canceled or being rejected by the SEC and all that. Here, this is the first rally after the bear market, and a lot of people were still bearish, calling for lower. But each time we hit the VWAP, we go higher. So we did that recently as well here, even though we still seen like a second drop towards it. Maybe that was a liquidity grab, taking the stops and everything, faking everybody, and a bear trap, let's call it that way. And then the prices came back up. Now the thing is, I want to see a break above this trend line that I see here, that I have here in green. This is what's gonna really show us a major rally is coming. And we have two scenarios that can play out here. As we can see here, we're still in this ranging time. So I just took that 2021 fractal, put it back here, gives us a target of 114. That's the worst case scenario if we don't see any rate cuts, if we don't see any improvement. But apparently we're gonna see that happen. But I had this since I talked about the worst case scenario, basically is that Bitcoin only gives us another leg up towards 114, and in that process starting a major altcoin season. As you can see, altcoins just need a little push to start to rally, or just to sniff out any type of strength from ETH. They start to rally, and ETH only did a quick move from 1,800 to 2,000. That's alone got us to see green grass everywhere. But imagine what will happen if ETH actually reclaims back towards or goes back towards 4K. So that's why I have here, this is a worst case scenario, but the best case scenario would be, or the most probable in my opinion, is a blow off top like 2017, where we actually seen a sustained rally. And because we have pretty much the same environment as today instead of 2021. But what I wanted to say is the time frame where we start to see this box here back in 2021. It actually started to rally around the end of April, where we started to see the pumps, and the first peak started put into June, then a pullback, then the last one was put in around August. So it seems like so far we are following this, unless obviously we break above into a very strong V-shaped recovery and the data actually matches up with it, like rate cuts and stuff like that. I will keep you updated on that. But my point here is the most important, which is the low is in. So that's very important for my strategy, which means I'm just holding, and I'm still holding all my coins, just waiting for the actual altcoin season to start. Because what happens usually when Bitcoin starts to rally again, ETH starts to rally, and then we have a altcoin season only, right? Where Bitcoin is rallying, slowly going back up, but altcoins are going crazy. And this is something we see all the time. We see outperformance from altcoins like in 2021, the first peak Shiba Inu got listed on Binance, but on the second peak here, this is when it did the last rally up, creating another meme coin season and altcoin season with metaverse coins and other narratives that were back in the days. Now, the same thing could play out this time. That's why it doesn't matter how high Bitcoin goes here, it will start a major altcoin season, but the most probable one is a 2017 more sustained season, because we are looking at actually the money printing machine coming back, because that means we're still haven't even started an altcoin season that actually started way early in 2021 with the money printing, and 2020 and 2017, which we have not seen yet. Altcoins actually leaving off an environment where we have money printing, even though we had an altcoin season here and there and meme coin season. So that's something big to keep in mind. And that's something that could pretty much be on the table here, where we have a more sustained bull market till the end and early 2026, basically. That starts from April, May, basically. And the worst case scenario, as I shown you, is a top around August, around 114 Bitcoin. This if we do not get any rate cuts this year, but we have a strong probability of rate cuts happening by June, which also is for some reason matching with this chart, and would mean that if we start from June seeing rate cuts, we pretty much, that would be the date where we see the astronomical pumps like in 2021 early, not the second peak, and 2017. So that's very important. That's pretty much what the FOMC was about. That's why the market is very bullish, and pretty much that's why probably Binance is buying up as much ETH as possible. Since recently we've seen the Bybit hack, ETH is not with exchanges don't have that much ETH since they had to lend it back to Bybit and all that. So that's could be a very major supply shock for Ethereum. When we say Ethereum, we say altcoins, because when this pumps, everything else pumps. That's very important. Now, the second thing I'm looking at, guys, is the global liquidity. That's still on the table here. We still haven't seen that play out, this last squeeze on the global liquidity. We've seen the first one play out, this one here. We've seen this one play out here. We've seen this one play out here, but we haven't seen this last one. The last one is still not priced in the market, and we could be actually looking at the beginning of that actually starts to play out, or to start to see the chart catching that liquidity and starting to rally. That's something we haven't seen yet. Since now we passed the FOMC, the market might have nothing to look for, but remember, we do have this last rally on the global liquidity to look for, and still this downtrend might get broken, leading to a major bull market, as well as it did in 2017 and 2021. So looking as well at Bitcoin bottoming and possibility that it is bottomed here, it tells me that we can expect a very bullish Q2 this year, and we might start to see the sign play out pretty much now. And if we look at Ethereum, we might even look at this as a fake out below range before coming back within the range, which was between 2,000 or 2,100 and 4,000. So whenever ETH rallies, altcoins rally. Keep that in mind. The bottom is most likely in for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, there are gonna be always still people calling for lower. We could still see lower, but the possibility of this actually taking previous lows and going below 80K Bitcoin is very minimal here. I don't think this happened. I do think we're slowly gonna start to see increases in prices here, especially that recently what we've seen with the ETFs inflows or outflows is with the ETFs flows was mainly outflows, right? Since the 7th of March, we only had outflows, red, especially for Ethereum and as well Bitcoin, and this was due to the tariffs, because the ETFs now are managed by the Wall Street guys. Now, big banks, they do buy and sell things in bulk. So when the SPX is down, the S&P 500 is going down, they obviously are going to be selling also their cryptos. They're selling their stocks and their cryptos, but when they're buying their stocks, they're also buying their cryptos. So most likely we're going to start to see the flows shift from outflows to inflows and more buying pressure coming off the banks and the big boys out there. And especially that we're looking at the S&P 500 here, it does look like it put in another low as well, like Bitcoin. And you can see, guys, it's very correlated. When the SPX starts to go down, Bitcoin goes down with it, and we possibly are putting in another low for the S&P 500 to as well start to rally, or at least give us another push up. Even if it doesn't put a new all-time high and it double tops here, this will still in line with as well BTC doing the same thing, and most importantly giving us an altcoin season. So overall, the bottom is in, and most likely we're starting to see the recovery in the following weeks and months, with obviously ups and downs on Bitcoin, but that will give room for altcoins to start to rally. I'll soon make more videos about best meme coins to get into and stuff like that, even though it's the same meme coins. I added some new ones, but not much, but it's the same meme coins I'm still buying up or holding as well. I'm just holding most of it since I'm packed, just topping up here and there. But the thing is, I'm still expecting a very bullish meme coin season and altcoin season, especially with the money printing coming very soon. Anyways, guys, this was a quick update. Thank you so much for watching today's video till the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.